Hello everybody. So today we're going to be unboxing this Longines watch here in front of us, which I purchased from Jake over at Trifecta Watches. I believe this is the second watch that I purchased from him, and both times I've had really great experiences, good communication with him, and I was happy with the price I was able to negotiate with him and the deal he was able to get from me. So when you buy this watch, what comes in the box is this, looks like maybe just like a coffee table book, story of outstanding achievements. The pioneer spirit lives on. So just kind of some history of Longines and um, their watches. So this is a company with a rich heritage in watches that goes back for many years. So let's get back into the watch here. And here is the watch. So this is the Longines Spirit. And those of you with a trained eye can already tell this is the 37mm variant due to the date position being at 6 o'clock. And as you can see from the hang tag right here, the retail price or the suggested MSRP was $2,500. But again, um, I always recommend you to try to get the watch from an authorized dealer because usually, depending on the watch, you can negotiate um, uh, with the dealer and see if you can get any better price that you'd be more comfortable to purchase with. So something I'm been a real big fan of on pretty much all my watches are having a polished relief in between the brushed portions of the watch. So we see here a nice polished relief with sharp transitions. I've also developed a liking for having some polish within the bracelet as well. Um, so kind of blending best of both worlds. A lot of people like when the sides are brushed just because it's going to show less wear, especially from a 2 watch. And you can see here we have I believe this is a single domed crystal because we see the doming, but we don't see a lot of distortion. And when you look closely at the dial, some things you may notice, other than the logo and the chronometer on the bottom, is that kind of polish ring around the minute track and between the hour markers. So just add some more something to catch the eye. So, I actually purchased this watch because I was looking for a watch that would pair well with a brown leather strap. Um, I I do enjoy my brown leather boots and shoes, and I just felt like, I wanted some watch that would pair well with it. And I surprisingly struggled to find a watch that came in that manner. I purchased this one with the bracelet just because, uh, I've always heard that if you're going to have an option, go with the bracelet because those are going to be much more expensive to source in the aftermarket. The watch does come with a um, removable, interchangeable bracelet, so quick release button. A little bit difficult to show y'all if my camera would cooperate, but there we can see right over here buttons that you press to quickly release the bracelet. And we can see the solid case back, which, some people may like it, some people may not. Regardless, typically solid case back, you're going to have a thinner watch. So there are pros to that. So let's talk about now the measurements of the watch. So on my calipers, we have right above the crown 36. So I know they quote 37, but I'm getting 36.7 here. So let's try that one more time. So maybe try from right here to here. 37. Okay. So it depends. And then annoyingly, we have essentially a 19 millimeter lug width, which don't get me started on Longines. Why? Thickness will be 11.6. And again, some of that is going to come just from the crystal. So it will wear thinner. And lug to lug will be 45. So right now I'm preparing to put the watch on the watch winder, and I am winding it, and I just wanted to share with y'all, this is easily the smoothest winding action I've experienced. Um, because I don't have too much experience with Longines watches, I don't know the movement off the top of my head. I'm sorry about that. I'm more of a Seiko type of guy. Um, but I just wanted to share with y'all the smoothness in winding. And not just when it's unwinded or on low power, even at higher winding states, it's still nice and smooth. And it just sounds nice as well. You know, typically I would buy a Seiko. My natural tendency is to have a collection full of Seikos, but I kind of wanted to experiment with some Swiss watches or a little bit more upscale before I start buying some more luxury watches. So I didn't want to go just from a Seiko straight to, let's say, a Rolex. Um, we'll see. I had my eyes on this Seiko instead of this watch, which is, I forget the name off the top of my head, but people have called it like the um, mini alpinist or the baby alpinist. So they make them in blue, black, green variants. I almost bought the black one, but I wanted to try something else. Okay, here we have the watch on the Timegrapher, which we see so far great rate, amplitude, beat error, and I believe that is the lift angle that I could find online for the Longines movement. I believe it's like a L888.41 movement, something along those lines. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, but this is kind of what you expect when you have chronometer on the dial and what you pay for. So I believe the watch uh, is supposed to have a rate error of plus or minus, I'm not sure, I think 5 seconds within 5 different positions. So again, this would be my first watch that has that. So I'm kind of learning, in this hobby. So here we've put it in a different position, and I mean, look at that beautiful Timegrapher. We don't see kind of snowflakes everywhere. I like to compare this to a EKG, and we see the beating heart and how well in an EKG this wouldn't be a good sign, but on a watch it's a different story. The key here is look how consistent um, those two lines are. They essentially look like one line now. And this is in the second position. Let's try another position. A little bit lower amplitude, but we'll give it some time to adjust. Yeah, so, so far, this is what you paid for. And again, this is, a new watch. There perhaps is a break-in period. So far, these are very good findings. Okay, and here we have the watch on wrist, unsized for me. Just so you can kind of get an angle of how it looks on wrist. I have a 6.5 wrist, so I think that's fairly average. If Not slightly under. You know, I tried on the, I believe it's the 40, and I preferred the dial size of 40, especially in a pilot's watch, just because it's kind of more true to form. However, it did have a substantially longer lug to lug, which had the watch kind of jutting out these lugs. So I ended up going with the 37. Perhaps in the future, if I like this watch, maybe I'll look into an IWC, but right now I didn't want to spend that type of money on it. So, in closing, just some final thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Tried to do kind of more casual video unboxing rather than just kind of some B-roll of the watch. Um, I took off the plastic off the camera. I'm not sure if people liked watching me fiddle with that. Um, I know sometimes it is. Some people like me peeling off those. Some people would like peeling off the plastic, but wasn't that satisfying. And I hope in the future that when I do get a new place, I can set up a essentially a bench, YouTube filming bench. That way, I can give you guys more content. Currently, my setup is I'm using my desk in my office. So it does take me kind of clearing the desk and setting up the camera, which is, you know, kind of a rate limiting step in me filming more videos. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate everyone for watching. Just comment and like, it would help me out. And I'll make every attempt to reply to every comment you guys leave. And in closing, I'll just leave you guys with a loom shot.